Ahoy everybody, and welcome, my fellow uncouth Americans. I am Jeanne Nestor the Shining Star. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe, you lazy bastards. Thank you. Now, today, let me bring up my information. Today, we are talking about American voting. Remember, we became a nation with only 13 colonies, 14 states by the time we had independent government from the British Crown, July 4th, 1776. Now, if you're confused, I refer you to my other video, Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death, Patrick Henry. The start of the law for this, at the time, new government was called the Articles of Confederation, the 12 Amendments. One of those articles stated that no power is to be limited to one single person. It is to be split among the heads of state, the legislative, per colony. In 1789, the voting of these heads were limited to the white male landowner. Calm down. Chill, people. It is 1789. It's a completely different tone. In 1790, the Naturalization Act was established with the laws of eligibility, process, and certification, therefore establishing who can and can't vote. Go look up the details as to what those requirements were for those laws. Just do your own bloody homework. I will do my best to keep this as brief as possible. 1848, you have the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, which certain citizenships, were established among the Hispanic American population, although this did not include the right to vote, and it was the same in 1866 with the Civil Rights Act. It meant basic citizen freedoms, but it did not include voting. In 1876, the 15th Amendment was passed where, quote, "The right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States of any state on account of race, color, or previous condition of servitude," end quote. Yet it still did not include women. Men, yes. Any creed or color, status, yes. Women, no. And who said there were not butthurt white assholes that threatened the, at the time known as, colored men at the polls when they tried to exercise this newfound freedom to vote? None of this included Native Americans because they were untaxable, therefore still not citizens. Then you have 1890. As a Native American, you are now proclaimed an American citizen, but not a voting American citizen. Bloody hell, make it fucking make sense. Moving on, like I said, these are older times. I tell you not to bitch about it, and then I go and bitch. All right. Further along, 1890, Wyoming as a territory was the first state area that granted women the right to vote. Although this was only local votes, not presidential or federal. And it did start a state-by-state voting freedom well into the 1820s for women. 1913. I just love these dates. They're so fun. 1913, the 17th Amendment declared state senators were voted by the people and not just the state legislators. 1920, the 19th Amendment states all women may vote. In 1922, the Japanese Naturalization Act states the peoples of Asian descent could not vote or have full citizenship in comparison to the white or slave-descendant Black American. So strange. Different times. Enter the Snyder Act that states if a Native American renounces their native citizenship from their tribe, from the reservation, then they can gain full American citizenship in order to vote. By 1952, the Immigration and Nationality Act granted free voting rights to all Asian nationalities in America. Also, for 1952, we have the 23rd Amendment, which states that the District of Columbia has presidential voting rights, but not congressional rights. Since there's mutual protection in trade, this created a clear line of governmental control on foreign soil. The Act of 1965, where any man of color, creed, or native nation could finally vote without interference or prejudice, pretty much that I spoke of earlier, the butthurt people that just couldn't fathom a new world in a time of change and try to threaten people and chase them away from the polls. 1971, we introduced the voting age limit, 18. You can kill. You can vote for the next ruling leader of the free world, but you can't have a goddamn drink or smoke until you're 21, because we're America and we like to think of the children. Oh, I digress. Phew. We're almost there, my darlings. I swear. Stay with me. We're almost there. Right. 1986. Veterans were granted the rights to vote even when they were stationed overseas. How the fuck that was ever an argument or question, 'tis beyond me, but okay then. 1993. The National Voter Registration Act was introduced, declaring one must have a valid American ID in order to legally vote. To make the modern system easier. 2002, America found a way to vote via email versus in person at the physical polls. The Supreme Court overturned Section 4B of the Voting Rights Act, no longer requiring states and local governments to notify the Attorney General of any changes to the local voting laws. You know what? Notify me with a flag in the comments if you made it this far, my twinkly stars. Because I'm partially bored just getting through this. But it is information that honestly, as voting citizens, we should have. We should understand the history that gives us these beautiful rights today. Anywho, that's the end of my little history lesson. If we the people don't like the way things are run, give it to the next voting season. Change how it's done, whether by ballot or by dollars. That's the beauty of America, of the freedom that we have. Don't forget, you can always do the paperwork and do a write-in ballot. You're not stuck with just the two choices. Cheers to the runners of 2025. Sláinte, and good luck. Slán.